All right, what's up, Hopog High School students? Welcome to high school. My name is Chris Cook. I'm the high school principal. I have been a principal. This is my 9th year that I will be a principal. I was principal in Boston for 6 years before returning to Long Island a couple years ago to be the principal here. Grew up in Shoreham-Wading River, not far from here, and high school was probably one of the more transformative experiences of my life. So as I think about 2020, you guys being the class of 2024, welcome. This is really a weird experience to be welcoming you in this way. Typically, I'd be like walking up and down the aisles with a handheld microphone, interacting with you. But we are in 2020, and we have masks on. We have socially distanced practices here, and it's certainly not the way any of you dreamed of beginning high school even 7 or 8 months ago, when the world was relatively normal. So welcome. And what I'm going to do for a little bit is just talk about who we are and what we do. So first off, we will see each and every one of you as individuals. We will think very critically about each and every one of you as individuals, as people growing and evolving and thinking about who you want to become. Secondly, this is a fresh start for you. So, right away as you're coming in, we can kind of notice some things. We can see some social gravitations that go on. We can see the ways that people are posturing or not posturing related to how cool they are and things like that. All that doesn't really matter. And you're in a position now as you begin high school to have a fresh start and really make you into this person that you want to be. And as you evolve, I'd encourage you to try a lot of different things. To kind of get to know yourself and think about who you are and where you want to go. So a couple things. I'm part of a team here and have the fortune of working alongside a team here that is really quite tremendous. Our high school team has done a lot of great things. Last year, we were recognized as one of the top 1,000 high schools in America. For those of you kind of wondering what that means, there's over 20,000 high schools in America, so that puts us in the top 5% or so of high schools in America. So welcome to one of the best high schools in America. Your responsibility in that space is literally to make sure you're doing the best you can to grow and improve each and every day. Some of you might be coming into this room, having gotten straight A's last year, and you're ready to do that and grow more and maybe get more involved. Maybe some of you earned more C's and B's, and you're trying to sort yourself out and figure out what you want to be and who you want to be. But your responsibility is really just to get better each and every day. The team I work with most closely is our assistant principal team. Beyond that, probably our health and counseling team, and then everybody else kind of in a variety of ways. So our assistant principals are Mrs. Ferrara, Mrs. Pagliari, and Mr. Whitehorse. This is Mrs. Pagliari. She'll talk to you in a minute or so. She is our 9th and 10th grade assistant principal. So if there's issues that you have or things that you want to discuss, she's your point person. Beyond that though, Mrs. Ferrara and Mrs. Pagliari, Mr. Whitehorse are readily available to support you. And really, hello. 4 years or so from now, really 3 years and about 8-9 months, you'll be sitting in some way or another with a cap on. That time is going to go super fast. And 20 years from now, you're going to be looking back and be like, wow, that was a blip on the radar for my life. And so as you step into today, just think about that a little bit and bring energy. Some of you are thinking, oh, this is going to be a slow beginning to high school. And particularly this year, you might be thinking that way because this is a wild beginning of high school. We're going to be on your case about being socially distant, about making sure you're adhering to expectations, about all of that. Right now, there's a pause on clubs and after school activity and all the things that you've been thinking about and looking forward to. But bottom line is we're going to bring energy. We're going to bring a desire to support you and help you. And we're hoping that you can do the same in return. This is something you're going to hear me say a lot. And it's going to position you, if you kind of buy into this concept, really, really well. So our role at Hopog High School, and you can kind of see where my eyes are while I'm saying this, are to support students empowering them to tell their stories personally, professionally, socially, and academically. And in doing so, really prepare you for the first day you are no longer a Hauppauge High School student. So the purpose of high school is to grow and enjoy the experience and simultaneously get ready for when you step beyond these walls. Because the big, bad, scary world is coming. It's not here. You have some time, and certainly high school is big and bad and scary enough, but there's also a tremendous opportunity here to grow as people and to really step into things and thrive. How we approach our work is that we try to be in a particular quadrant on this scale. So if you think about the people in your life who have high expectations for you, and everybody kind of just take a look at the scale. So high expectations, high support, low expectations, low support. We try to be up here. We try to be up here. Now, if I can explain what that means for a second, we have enormous expectations for you. We think you can achieve more than you could even dream that you could achieve. We think that you can thrive in ways that you haven't even really conceived. As a result of that, we have expectations about what level of work you can do in classroom settings, what type of person you can become in extracurricular and athletic endeavors. We have just enormous expectations for you as people. But simultaneously to that, we know that in order for you to maximize your potential, we need to provide high levels of support. So when we say we have high expectations for you, that means we expect you to be here on time moving forward. So those of you that walked in a little bit late in particular. But we also know that you can do more than that in the classroom. We know that you're going to be able to walk and socially distance yourself, follow our expectations, kind of stay in line and make sure you do what you're supposed to do. And along the way, our teachers, my team, our guidance counselors, our social workers, our psychologists, our teaching assistants, our custodial staff, everybody is going to lean in and give you an enormous amount of support. And if you have any need for support emotionally, academically, whatever it might be, let us know. I appreciate that most of you right now seem pretty engaged. This is like on the first time really speaking to a broader student group, and I can see your eyes are this way. That engagement is going to be really important with me, with your teachers, whomever. The people that are here wake up every single day with one purpose, to support you. So know that that's where we're at. From here, we're gonna, hand things over. You're gonna have great, quick morning planned, and then we'll move on. And we're excited to get going on Tuesday. Again, if you need anything, reach out. We're here. Thank you, guys. Welcome. Mrs. Paglia.
I'm sure you didn't end 8th grade the way that you thought you would. I'm sure when you left March 13th and you found out you were going to have a week off, it was probably exciting. Everyone loves a vacation, right? And then the weeks kind of kept dragging on. And some of you may have enjoyed your time off, but most of you, I'm sure, are very, very excited to be back here, and we're really, really excited to have you. Probably the first thing that you want to do, right, on your first day of school is run up and hug your friends. We all want to do that. We really want to, but we're just so excited to be able to see each other and have you here. So this is kind of the new norm. You're going to have to maintain social distance, but that's what we have to do because we want to be here. We want you in school and we want you here. Just want to take a moment to point out we have Mr. Whitehorse just popped in. He's our other assistant principal, one of our other assistant principals, Mr. Foster over here. And I think we have some teachers in the back. Miss Raffini is our school social worker. And as you walk through the building, we'll be pointing out where all of our offices are. So I'm just going to describe briefly what we're going to do today. Mr. Foster's going to come up in a few minutes. I'll go through a few slides. Mr. Foster's going to come up in a few minutes and talk to you about the activity that you're going to be participating in the gym with some of our upperclassmen that were nice enough to come in and volunteer to work with you and introduce you. And then you're going to get to tour the building with some of our teachers. I think I see Miss Conahan and Miss Lacerdo in the back. Thank you for coming and taking time to come welcome our 9th graders. So excited. They're both global studies, social studies teachers and for 9th grade. So it's very possible that you're in one of their classes. And after that, our teachers, our 9th grade teachers, so hopefully you'll wind up in a group with someone, with a teacher that you have, are going to take you on a nice tour of the building, and they'll point out where you can find things like the principal's office, the nurse's office. They'll probably be able to answer some questions, and I hope that you've been watching the videos that we've been sending out and gathering all the information, and we're going to be sending out more tomorrow to talk specifically. I'm always here if you have any questions, so you can always feel free to email, stop by, come up at the end of the tour, and I hope you enjoy what we have planned for you. So if you think back to 6th grade, when you started 6th grade, you kind of broke out of your elementary school, that's when your routine started to change, and you probably had some anxiety going into 6th grade. I could think of my own children that had thoughts of like, am I going to be able to get my locker combination? Am I going to find my locker? I'm going to find my classes. Do I have to change for gym? And like, the good thing about this is that you don't have to worry about any of those things this year. Okay, we're not changing for gym right now. We don't have lockers. So those are things that you can just place on the table and not worry about, and just worry about coming back in, focusing on schoolwork, getting back into routine. For some of you, that's going to be very hard. I'm sure for some of you, when you saw your time slot this morning, you were groaning and like, why did I get the earliest time slot? I wish my name was Z, right? Because some of you are probably sleeping a little bit later than you would on a normal school day. So it's going to take time to get back in routine, but I encourage you to really jump on board, get excited. If you also remember, I'm sure you've heard older people tell you, time flies. It's going to go by in the blink of an eye. Before you know it, I can't even tell you, and you won't believe me, and I know you won't believe me, but I feel important to say that it's going to go by so fast. So enjoy every single second of your high school career. I'm sending my oldest son off to college on Saturday, and I can literally remember his first day of kindergarten. So it's going to fly, and I really encourage you to just enjoy every single minute of high school this year. And never give up. There are going to be days that it's very challenging. There are going to be times that it's really hard to keep your mask on. There are going to be times that you're in a bad mood and you want your friend to hug you. There are so many people here that can help you and provide levels of support. Please don't ever feel like you're alone. Our 9th grade guidance counselor, like I said, is Mr. Foster. You have Mrs. Griffin and Mrs. Raffini, who are our school social workers, and you have 2 school psychologists, Dr. Wong and Mrs. Nagaki. I also want to take 1 second because she just walked back in. Mrs. Pincus is in the back, and I thank her for coming down. She was the first one in this room this morning. She was so excited to come back and welcome you. She is our drama and theater teacher, and I hope you have an opportunity to take classes with her at some point during your high school career, or hopefully multiple classes with her. Did I miss anyone? Okay, so right now, when you came in, Mr. Cook talked about our high expectations, and we have high expectations for you, but nobody's expectations are more important than your own expectations for yourself. So you might not have think about this for a while, but what I'd like you to do is, you were given an index card when you came in. So I'd like you to start, just write your name on the index card. And I'd like you to think for a moment or two about goals for yourself. And I'd like you to choose 2. And I'd like you to write down 2 goals for yourself. Okay? Nobody's looking at these. They're yours. One is going to be an academic goal. Make this your goals. These are not what your parents want you to do. These are not what your guidance counselors want you to do or your administrators want you to do. These are something that you want to do for yourself. I'd really like to try a theater class. I'd really like to get into an AP class. I'd really like to score this on my SATs, whatever your academic goal is. And then also a personal goal. I'd like to make more friends. I'd like to get involved in more physical activity. I'd like to exercise for 10 minutes a day. So if you could just take 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to be quiet so you can actually think, and think about those goals and write them down on the index card. Okay, some of you may be thinking, and you can certainly finish this later, I don't want to interrupt, but I do want to make sure we keep our program going. The reason that I had you did this, I've done this with all of my classes, I'm going to ask you to leave those index cards with us when you leave. I'm not looking at them. I have no intention of looking at them. And if you're uncomfortable with doing that, you certainly don't have to. If you take yours with you, I would encourage you to put it in a place where you're going to remember it. Because what we're going to do when you start your senior year is give them back to you. And I found this activity works really well, and people get to really see the beginning of senior year, hey, I met my goals and I feel great, or oh, I really wanted to do this. This is what I have to do my last year. This is the last year I had this opportunity to do this. So I really encourage you to own your goals. They're your goals. Again, they're not our goals, but our expectation here is high expectations, and we really want you to have those for yourself because we are confident that you can do them. All right, so we're going to do just a quick rules overview, okay? Be on time. It's very, very important. And go to your classes. With that said, you know that we're now on a block schedule. So you have 5 classes a day. Most of you will have lunch. So you're really only looking for 4 classes. It's going to take you a little while to find your way around the building. We understand that. Teachers understand that. But we expect that once you get into the flow of things, the expectation is that you are in class on time and ready to work. Be respectful to each other and all of your staff, all the staff here, every staff member in the building. Be kind on social media and in person. Okay, social media, I'm sure, came into your life probably in 6th grade, and you're playing around with it and making TikToks. Everything you do on social media exists forever. And things that you do outside of school on social media are important here too, and we take those things into account. So even if you're home on a Saturday night and you make a TikTok that is not appropriate, that's going to be something that the school gets involved with. So please make sure you're very kind on social media, and make sure that you understand that exists forever. Refrain from vaping and nonsense like that. This school is your second home. Treat it as such. We don't expect people throwing things on the floor, and you should be cleaning up after your stuff in the lunchroom. You're responsible for reading the entire code of conduct, the dress code, the rules about cell phones, etc. Will be there's security throughout the building, so if ever you have a question, they can help you most likely with the answer. We'll be doing fire drills and evacuation drills in the upcoming weeks. You need to wear your masks every day, all day. I know it's uncomfortable, but I'm sure most of you are getting used to it. If you haven't, spend the weekend wearing them for longer intervals of time. You're not allowed to take them off at all inside the school, except for the few minutes when you're eating in the cafeteria. And as you're walking on the tours, you're going to see there's signs on the floor that says stay to the right. So no, you're not old enough to drive, but if you have ever been in a car, you drive on the right side of the road. So stay to the right, and that's important because we want to keep you here. And in order to do that, we need to maintain social distancing and try to do our best to keep you healthy. All right, I'm going to